Hi, this is Victor Johnson. I'm just gonna give a overview of my API project. Um, so ultimately, the project was to create an API that could be used to look up this data set and get full CRUD on this data set and be able to look at it and ultimately combine these data sets so we could understand some stuff. And what I chose to do my project on was um, college football or college sports and how the students are subsidizing, some of the college sports because they're actually losing money for them, and some of those student fees are going towards paying for those sports. So what I did is I found these three data sets. One is talking about how much the schools are subsidized. So if we see here, after this long article, let me go down to the data set. We can see here we have different schools, and it basically says, how much are they getting in subsidies from the students, and then how much are they actually bringing in athletic revenue, and then a percentage of their total amount that is actually being subsidized by those student loans or student payments. And what I wanted to do was be able to compare that or combine that with this sports data of college sports, college football, head coach and assistant coach salaries. So really to kind of say, here are the schools that are being subsidized the most, and then are they overpaying their coaches or what have you. So I really wanted to be able to combine these data sets and be able to show that. I was not as successful as I would like to be. I had some issues with combining the data as well as deployment, but I think that there were a lot of lessons learned and a lot of stuff that I will apply to my next project. And I think that overall it was a good learning experience as far as building an API. The API, I'll give you a little showing of it in the non-deployed state, but um, here it is. And so what you can do is you can search by schools, and you can get all that data on how much they are being subsidized and what their revenue is. So for instance, Alabama is making $153 million per year in revenue, and they're only being subsidized about 6 million, so it's only 3.9%. We could look for another school. For instance, let's look at Texas, and that did not work, but we would hope that, sorry about that. Texas, and we will do that, and that did not work either. So I'm hoping that has to do with capitalization. Yeah, sorry about that. So capitalization, yeah. So it was. We can see Texas is receiving zero subsidies and making 161 million. So you can do this with the schools as well as head coaches. We can see a whole list of all the head coaches, and we can do the same thing with assistant coaches. So um, that's ultimately the project. And when I some of the code that I feel like I am proud of, let's say, is um, when I was doing this, there was a lot of bringing the data in. I had to put it in CSVs first, and then turn it to JSON and everything. And some of it was cut and pasted. And you see in this case, it brought in with it this slash n. And what I had to do is do a bunch of cleaning and a bunch of stuff, basically to say wherever you see this, excuse me, this slash n, or in the case I actually changed it to an underscore because I couldn't just get rid of, find and replace everything after this n. So I turned it to an underscore because it can't read this backslash. But basically I was able to say find everything before the underscore, and bring that in. So I did a lot of JavaScript to clean the data, and I thought that worked well as well as mapping the data. So I really like that, and I also liked the fact that I think that it didn't take me long to put together the routes and the controllers and everything. So I was able to do that in probably an hour or two and get all that working. And I actually had to change my data set once from the initial thing, and it took me only about half an hour to change everything. So I think I got a good grasp of that. It's just the actual linking of the data. I had a lot of issues as far as that. For some reason, I couldn't get the object IDs to populate in reference, and I tried a lot of different things, and I'll continue to work on that going forward. And then there were some deployment issues. I'm still working on that. I can't figure out why it's not showing up online. But I think that overall, next time I will have some learnings, and hopefully it will be a little bit more successful next time. But thank you for watching my presentation.